from misty, Tennessee. It was cold last night. Not as cold as it could be or will be, but first kind of real cold night since the early spring that I remember. It was 37 this morning when I woke up. I stayed really warm. Gladly have my heavier sleeping quilt, so it's a 10 degree, and I also got my silk sleeping bag liner, so that kind of goes in. I go in that and then put the quilt over me and buckle it in. I was toasty warm. I have good layers. When I'm inside my tent sleeping, totally comfortable, or probably in a shelter, I'd be totally fine. It's just the getting out and doing chores in the early morning. My fingers, even with gloves, you can't do everything with gloves. My hands are cold. Well, we made it out of camp at a respectable hour. I am warmed up right now as long as I'm moving. The forecast looks to be a little bit similar to yesterday, which is good because earlier it was going to be like a high chance of rain and it's steadily decreased. The goal today is about 17 and change to a shelter of which I cannot remember the name. It's like Vandeventer or something like that. I call it the Vanna White shelter. Depending how it looks, I may sleep inside the shelter. If it's creepy, I will try and put up my tent. There are no privies in the state of Tennessee on the Appalachian Trail. There's a rule apparently that volunteers can't deal with human waste. So even though that's a stretch, that is why there are no privies. There will be an amazing catful increase while I'm in Tennessee. Speaking of that, there is one for today. Ding! Put that ticker up. I don't even know what we're up to. I'd have to go back and count. I don't know if my editor is keeping track. Otherwise, I'll go back and check the videos and see. Yeah, it's just the fall leaves are beautiful, and it's actually a really nice trail. Much fewer rocks than there has been. I can move pretty easily. There are some roots and such. And tomorrow I'll have a shorter hike, 11 or 12 maybe, into the Boots Off hostel, which will give me a chance to dry out. My quilt did get a little bit damp at the foot end because my sleep pad, I slid down my sleep pad and touched the inside of my tent with it, and there was a little bit of condensation inside yesterday because I had it zipped up so tight for the cold. No big deal. I'll get that dried out and get a little resupply of breakfast and snacks and enjoy a hot shower and such. It's hard to see. Can't zoom in far enough to get a clear photo, but that is a baby curled up to its mama. Hello, cows. All right, I gotta go. It's a little chilly. You're so cute. Pastures have become one of my favorite things to walk through just because of the scenery, usually when it's not so cloudy. But at least there's some beautiful fall colors here, and it's a nice gravel trail through the farmland, and there's been a lot of cows off in the distance, but I think we're coming up to some pretty close ones here. Hello, ladies. You're so pretty. Look at your white markings. Hi. You're a pretty girl. You pretty girl. Oh, you're leaving. I guess you're not happy. There's some other friends through the bushes. Hi, baby. All right, I won't bother you. I gotta go now. I love that. Who is that? I wonder what you're saying. What are you saying back there? Holy hen of the woods. Wowza. A little bit off trail here is the Nick Grindstaff monument. He was a local hermit. That was buried here. I don't know that much about it other than this is a beautiful resting place. He died in 1923, so 100 years ago. Lived alone, suffered alone, and died alone. Uncle. So we did have family, and this is a beautiful monument in a beautiful spot. Much better than a cemetery, as someone said in the Far Out app. Rest in peace, Nick. You have a beautiful home here. It's, I don't know, I got probably about 3.2-ish miles left to camp. And it's hailing. It's been, very drizzly most of the day. Sometimes no rain at all, but it's blowing off the trees. Sometimes a little drizzle. And now it's hailing. We're back to that portion of the program. I'm just going to get my head down and get to camp. My understanding from a couple hikers that are at the shelter already, it's full of suction hikers, so I will be tenting, which is fine with me. It's warmer in my tent, and I'm hoping by the time I get there, this precip will have stopped long enough for me to get my tent put up and get some water and stuff. No big deal. All right, carrying on.